Okay, here's a look at the trailer mode for FansToys Motormaster, and you could see that this is where it connects to Motormaster's trailer by those two hooking tabs. And obviously this is the major part for their Menasor that holds the feet, the legs, the body, the arms, the head with the light up feature. But as you can see, this is very panel-y, and transforming it to this mode is definitely a challenge, but it's doable if you know what you're doing, a certain order to take to manipulate the parts so you don't run into issues, and knowing how to work with all the double hinges and the hooking tabs, the over under tabs, stuff like that. It's doable. However, yeah, in terms of the engineering and the design of it, there's a lot of questions, but I could simplify that by telling you that this is the consequence as a result of incorporating the base mode. And so this is basically a triple changer: the trailer mode, the base mode, and the body part for Menasor. So trying to figure out how to transform this into 3 modes is definitely challenging. So when I take that into consideration and I look at how FansToys executed, the way they lock in all these tabs, I think it's done fairly well. It's just complicated for the reasons I told you. And so now but there are issues with it, which, I'm going to point out, because I'm always honest with my review. I don't, try to say nice things because I'm biased towards FansToys. Actually, I'm not biased towards FansToys or Extransbots or DX9 or Magic Square or New Age. I just try to be as objective as possible, and I always try to point things out. So here, first of all, you could see, how he scales next to their Motormaster, and it's about the same, but it's actually a little bit bigger. If you could see, it extends out here. Let me push this back so you could see. And yeah, it is kind of funny how they gave you a second trailer when he didn't have a second trailer. And yeah, what I was going to tell you was point out, I always try to point out things, but then I get, attacking comments, from, people that have no experience in art design, product design. So, or they're biased towards, let's say, FansToys. And so if I point out negative things, I get attacking comments that now I'm just going to start ignoring them. I'm not going to try to be nice and comment back. But anyways, you could see, first of all, it's a hooking tab, and the quality of the plastic on FansToys is better than Extransbot, so you can kind of get away with hooking tabs and plastic this small, but it's still not a good choice of design. And you could see the 2 little slots there, and this is where I noticed the consistency with FansToys. You always have to apply force. So you have to line it up. And this is what I don't like, especially when I'm working with hooking tabs. And you want to try to get it as close to the tabs as possible. Don't leverage it really far apart. And then now you have it connected. And let's see if I can zoom out so we can get a whole view here. And you could see this guy is really, really big. Let's see if I can push him back a little bit more. Look at how big this is. I didn't bring out a ruler, so I can't tell you how long this is. But this thing is really big. And, aesthetically, you know, that's just, you know, up to you. But, you know, my criteria for, you know, aesthetics is really the tune accuracy. This obviously is not very tune accurate, so yeah, it doesn't really appeal to me, but I'm not going to say this is bad because it didn't appear like this in the cartoon. No, this is, I understand that this is like this because this is how they chose to design the triple changing additional trailer. So, you know, when I understand that, I can appreciate what they tried to do. I say try because there's a lot of issues with this. So those things now I wanted to point out about the trailer mode. And here, this is what I was telling you. I don't like the choice of design here using these hooking tabs that you have to apply force to get in. And now it's also the same thing, trying to get it out safely without breaking those hooking tabs. So, and with design, I've said this many times, there's many different ways that you can design, you know, solutions to a problem. And the problem here is, how do you connect this to this? So you're coming up with multiple solutions, and this is the solution they came up with. And let me just tell you, it doesn't work. But this is what they gave us. So I just wanted to point that out. And so that's the first issue, is just the way they chose to design this. And since this came off a second time, I'll point this out too. This is the second issue, is that this additional part, which is, you know, the shoulders for the toy version of Menasor. Yeah, you can fold it up and attach it. But as you could see, this is kind of upsetting to me. You know, it doesn't really stay tabbed in very well. And I say very disappointing because FansToys definitely knows how to do a good job with trying to get things to tab in and stay tabbed in. And for whatever reason, they just did not make the necessary adjustments so that this can stay tabbed in. And then the other one, which I think is a big issue, you could see, let's take a close-up look so you could see the wheels here. You could see there's a slot right there that's supposed to be for the tab, for one tab. And first of all, the tolerance, you know, that FansToys, you know, the issue with the tolerance FansToys has with all their figures being too tight, where you have to apply force to put it in and take it out. This is the complete opposite. It's not tight here. And obviously one tab is not sufficient enough to stay in there, let alone sufficient enough to hold the heavy weight of this. So as a consequence, you could see the wheels, they just easily collapse. So this does not work very well. And, you know, I'm going to, you know, express my complaints, you know, very straightforwardly, because with FansToys, I would not expect to see the issues I'm pointing out, because I know that they know it. I know they're aware of it. I know they know how to fix it. But for whatever reason, they chose not to. And here you could see it. They did not even give you, like, somewhere here, you know, the little legs for the trailer so it could stand. So that's a big major oversight. So there's another negative. And here I was trying to see if I could use this, but no, that doesn't work either. So the negatives with it, I'm telling you, the hooking tabs here, this does not stay tabbed in very well. This is a major issue here that they didn't bother to fix. And then they also didn't give you any legs for this trailer so it can stand up. And then I laugh because it's funny to me, but you know, someone's pointing out this yellow thing that's like the least complaint as opposed to the other ones I pointed out. And here, that's really just a subjective thing. These are more functional issues that, yeah, that I don't think works very well. But anyways, without rambling on too much, I pointed out just the major things with this that you need to know. And now as a setup for the, comparisons, I'll let you know this does not have, the back trailer where you can open up as a ramp. And so with that, let me bring out a comparison. So the first comparison is something that took me literally over 5 hours trying to transform Extransbots Minosaur back to his trailer mode. And I'm just, sometimes I share my thoughts, and my thoughts here I'm sharing with you is, it's interesting how, well, first of all, transforming it, I like to transform it on my own to figure things out, but I do know that this is a very complicated transformation. So, I went, that's one of the rare times I look for transformation videos from the combined mode back to trailer mode. There isn't. And then I was kind of tempted to, make a transformation video from combined mode to trailer mode. But yeah, every time I go through all that work to do it, it's not very helpful. So that wouldn't be very smart of me to, take my time, energy, and do all the work to make a video that's not very helpful. But my main point to it is, it took me 5 hours to figure out how to transform this back to trailer mode. And I lost my thought. Well, there was another reason. But anyways, the main thing is, yeah, you could see the difference between these. Actually, you can't see the difference between these two. But first of all, here you could see the difference in size. And first, the FansToys, this is their second trailer. Motor Master only had one trailer. So here's one trailer. And then, like I was telling you, the setup here, and this is not done very well. It doesn't work very well. But here, these tabs with Extransbots, you don't have that tolerance issues with the tab. So they easily come untabbed, but then they easily come, well, they don't really stay tabbed in very well. But anyways, here you could see Extransbots always tries to do too much. Here they try to make it so that you have a, well, so they did give you a trailer. And I don't know if this is gonna work, but you can, I mean, it's not the right angle, but you can fake a storage here. It doesn't go in all the way. So, these, and I laugh because it's typical of Extransbots. They're always focusing on all these features and stuff, which is nice, but you don't really, they don't really need to do that. And like I was telling you, every time you try to incorporate things, you compromise the design. And here, both of these, they do have some challenges with the engineering of the transformation, because both of them are trying to, give you that base mode for the trailer. And maybe this is good, this is happening, so you could see that this is one of the issues with Extransbots compared to FansToys. Trying to get these to get lined up and tabbed in is very challenging, and you have to be very careful because of the quality of the plastic here are not as strong as FansToys, so this cannot handle that force and stress. And I'm not gonna waste your time trying to get this back tabbed in. And yeah, see, look at this. The wheels already came undone, so this is like just technical issues there, but just for fun I wanted to point things out. Extransbots, you know, I was telling you, they always try to focus on all these extra details and stuff. So if we come here, I'm going to be facetious here, the doors don't open and there's no steering wheel or dashboard, so this is a bad figure because the doors don't open, there's no steering wheel and dashboard. But yeah, I'm being facetious, so maybe you can understand my point that that's not needed. And that's typically what Extransbots focuses on. They focus on all the things that are not necessary. Because here you could see this already looks okay, but you know, I'm being honest and objective when I'm pointing out all the negatives, so I don't want to trigger, you know, biased you know, negative comments from biased collectors, you know, that are all Extransbots fans. This definitely has a lot of issues with the engineering, trying to get things tabbed in and stuff. And I was telling you, this kind of has a separate opposite issue as FansToys. You know, this doesn't have the the tight tolerance and stuff. It's just typical Extransbots. It's their engineering, the quality of the plastic, and you know, when you're manipulating it, you run the risk of breakage because of the plastic and the way they engineered the transformation and stuff. But anyways, I just noticed I'm digressing because this is not an Extransbots review. But the main thing, I just wanted to see if I could show you a comparison next to the FansToys version. And the same thing, I don't think I mentioned it, both of these are basically triple changers. So, you know, like I said, there's a consequence to everything, and since they tried to do that, the consequence is the trailer mode suffers. And so now with that was also a setup here to let you know, if they chose not to incorporate that base mode like DX9, you could see and I'm not saying DX9 is better, I'm always just pointing out the difference, so you know, maybe people can better understand. Here with the I don't have a lot of room here with DX9, you could see this is basically, you know, just a regular transformer. I mean, it separates, which I think was a very smart design. So, you know, Motor Master is not going to be really huge. And then the second part, the trailer just transforms into the body part for Menasor. So, yeah, as a result, transforming this, the engineering is so much easier than FansToys and Extransbots. So hopefully that made it clear when I'm telling you there's a consequence to, you know, having this be a triple changer and this one's not. This one's, and then DX9 does a good job with their engineering. I mean, this was actually pretty easy to figure out how to transform, didn't take that long. Although, and here I'm always pointing out everything, their execution of like the ratcheted joints and stuff, that's not done very well, because maybe you already know, or maybe it happened to you if you have this, you know, the ratchets on the thighs broke, and yeah, they need to better control the, you know, the tolerance on those things. But in terms of the engineering, I think they do a great job of keeping things simple, like I always said. And here, let me tell you, because you know, they kept it simple. Look at this. What? The door opens? Wait a minute. And the transformation on this is so much easier than Extransbots. Oh man, Extransbots is bad, and this is why this is better. Hopefully you can see my point, how those kinds of comments like that are so ridiculous, because that's not true. All it is just that the facts, you know, this does open as a result of engineering this to be very simple. And Extransbots doesn't have this because theirs is just too complicated, too many parts. So again, I'm just always trying to point things out because I'm not biased towards one or the other. Yeah, and that's why I kind of don't like, you know, attacking comments from biased collectors towards FansToys or Extransbots, because you're just letting me know how dumb you actually are. But anyways, enough of that. I just thought I'd show you a comparison of the trailer mode and let you know that I took a lot of time to do the work to transform those, especially the Extransbots, where there's no review from the combined mode to trailer mode. And it took me 5 hours to transform that thing. Yeah, but anyways, you could see this is the trailer mode. And I don't think I need to go through all the transformation on this because, yeah, you have your popular favorite YouTubers who do their own transformation. I'm not speaking to my thoughts on their transformation, but my point is, you know, you have other reviewers doing that, so I can maybe save some time and work. But yeah, here's a look at the trailer, and I don't know what else I can show you about the trailer other than just bring Motor Master back and just let you know that now after this is now going to be the combined mode. I'm going to work on the combined mode. And oh, I did want to share something. This is not an Extransbots review, but yeah, I just wanted to tell you, I think I already said, FansToys Stunticons are not going to be my Stunticons. They are going to be my Menasor. And I said that's because Extransbots, as you could see, their alt mode always looks really great. And here, this is just Motor Master. And now, what I wanted to show you was how this looks with the other Stunticons. So here is their version of Dead End, which I already, and I think I should maybe super glue this in. Looks really nice in alt mode. And then when we bring out all the other ones, and like I said, every time I think of Dead End or Wild Rider, I think of these two together because they appeared in the cartoon together. Let's bring them up here. And then when I think of Wild Rider, I always think of Breakdown because both of these guys form the legs for Menasor. And then since Breakdown is on the right side arm for Menasor is Drag Strip. So that's, again, the way I remember these guys in that particular order. But the main thing here is I wanted to show you, look at how nice this looks. I mean, everyone, you know, when it comes to aesthetics, you know, it's all subjective. It's based on your personal preference. But for me, I'm just telling you, I actually really like the look of it. And I laugh because this seems to be pretty consistent. Extransbots figures, they seem to look the best in alt mode. And, you know, in terms of scale with the masterpiece, I think these scale really nice with the masterpiece, you know, as the cars and stuff, especially the cars next to the truck. So that's it. This is not an Extransbots review, but I just, you know, randomly share things here and there. So I just wanted to share that the Extransbots are going to be my Stunticons in alt mode, and the FansToys is going to be my Menasor. So that's what I'm gonna work on now after this.
Stunticons unite to form Minosaur!